So, trying something new here as we are live on YouTube. And honestly, this is actually one of the first times I've gone the route of WCW 1998, which actually might be um something that I turn around and look at. Here it is. Because I'm still learning how to play TEW 2020. It wasn't until I asked for help that I actually got a better idea of how to play the game. But it's the idea of there's so many minor companies that it might be easier to handle being a minor company, but I'm going the route of trying to save WCW. ECW is struggling. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if ECW is struggling, but Les Thatcher's just starting out. You got so many minor companies. Tony Cadello, Rodney Emmy, IWA, Jersey All Pro, LLPW, Carmen Desperito, of course, New Japan, Howard Brody, Bill Barons, Dennis Corluzzo, Tony Rumble, Ken Taylor. The NWA has to be represented. You got Danny Davis, Omega. You got so many different promotions. But we are, of course, within the ranks of the WW. Sorry. We are in the ranks within the ranks of the WCW. And we are within the ranks of, honestly, I would probably say the most bloated roster that I have ever had the pleasure of being a part of or having a part in because frankly I have um how do you put it? Frankly, I used to have a reputation being of being, let's see. No, this is the one I want. Who's on a handshake deal? The women's division is on a handshake. The women's division are on a handshake deal. Some of the cruiserweights that worked down in Mexico, Paul Orndorff, Ralphus, Rick Rude. I'm surprised about that. Rick Rude's actually on a handshake deal. Scott Norton's in Canada. Steven Regal. I mean, not Canada, Japan. Steve Regal. Honestly, I kind of want to release the members of the women's roster because the women's division is just going to be bouncing back and forth with Medusa, so it's like pointless to have the women's division, in my opinion. Are there any women that are actually thought of highly? And the answer to that question is no. So I think the first decision we should make is regarding the women's roster. Because because frankly it's unnecessary to have them if there's no purpose, like if people are going to get more pissed off about the idea of me having the women as opposed to You know what I mean? Like, if they're gonna get more frustrated, like, because they don't matter, let me rephrase that. In the eyes of the game, status-wise, the women's division is very questionable for WCW. So with that being said, it's sort of the idea of, well, Scott Hudson doesn't really need a gimmick because they're not going to be featured on television. It's just the idea of, is it necessary? You know what I mean? Is it necessary? Um, I mean, to be fair, a lot of these guys that, I mean, outside of Nails, a lot of these guys don't really need a gimmick because they're, you know, heels. I mean, jobbers or enhancement guys. You know, they don't need gimmicks because they're enhancement. You know, like I mean, most enhancement guys, unless you're booking them up the card, they don't need. You know what I mean? They don't need it. I don't remember Paul Orndorff going against Goldberg. You want to talk about an unnecessary feud? You got fucking half the roster. I apologize. You got half the roster in here. You got half the freaking roster in there. Oh man. Um, WCW Power Plant. That's what I wanted to do. Not this. I wanted to check this. Okay, everybody there is supposed to be that. Double A, Dusty, Fit Finley, Jim Barnett. I didn't even know Jim Barnett was still in the company at this point. Kevin, Mike. We'll throw him this. So I got to scrap that feud with him and Goldberg because if Paul's retired, which I think Paul was actually retired at this point, to be honest with you. Wait, I hit the wrong one. Um, is this, is he still managing? Is he still managing Mortis? Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? That's an interesting story. Wrath and Mortis against Goldberg, and then Super Calo, Hoovy, Horoshu, Luis Piccoli, Eugene Agata, Sick Boy, Silver King, and Y2J. I really think that the best way to do this would be to break this down. I really do, because I think half these guys are going to end up in rehab anyway. Or a number of these guys are going to end up in rehab anyway. But let's just look. So we got 4 shows to do. We got Nitro, Saturday Night Thunder, and Main Event, which is actually accurate because at this point WCW did have 4 shows or multiple broadcasts. Um, the Saturday Night records every other Thursday. Oh yeah, so it's taped 2 shows at a time. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm also going to go the route of, well, we actually have funky. We actually have um I was gonna say backstage incidents are gonna be something we have to deal with. Oh, okay. Just Ralphus. Personal reasons. Stevie Ray is injured. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. All right. Let's jump into Nitro. Let's jump into our first episode of Nitro. Um, I really gotta do it where I can scroll because much prefer having the ability to scroll. We're just gonna throw in some booking here. Was Book's a babyface, ain't he? Yeah. Book's gonna be working with Finley at the pay-per-view for the WCW World Television Championship. It's Booker T trying to prove himself that he can stand alone, stand on his own 2 feet, and start his ascension to the top of the card. And then we got to make the tag team division. Well, my buddy boy here is inactive, so disorderly conduct. Harlem Heat's inactive. High voltage. Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom. Mortis and Wrath. I'm starting to believe maybe I should have went the route of not having. Maybe I should have went the route of not having Wrath and Mortis in the feud with them, but at the same time, I think we can go the route. Of running a tournament of sorts. The Blue Bloods, Damien and Cyclope. I guess. Oh, this is so much. This is so much easier. Number one contender tag team titles. Number one contender for the tag team titles. At Sold Out. The winners face the Steiner Brothers. And out of curiosity, United States Heavyweight Champion is Diamond Dallas Page. So we're actually going to have two active tournaments. But it's just going to, this one's just going to be a 4-man tournament. Buff Bagwell, Davy Boy, Eddie, Rick Martel. So we have two tournaments working up. United States title tournament and the world title the world tag team title tournament. It doesn't help that I actually just it doesn't help that I actually forgot who was in the tournament. It really doesn't help. Oh yeah. Hollywood Hogan, Eric, Sting, it's just basic. Hogan wants a piece of Sting, but Kevin points out Hulk lost. My main goal right now, honestly, my main goal right now is to move on from Starcade and to try my best to get the fans to not focus on Starcade anymore. That's all it is. That I don't want them to focus on Starcade anymore. I want them to focus on 1998. I want them to focus on where we're going in 1998, and I want to start developing a plan and a place to go, a place to, I want the fans to know that we're going somewhere in 2020 in 1998. That's all I want. I want the fans to know we're going somewhere. I want to be going somewhere. I want to do something so that the fans know. And I actually think I got to take away. Um, I actually think I got to take away his ability to wrestle. To be honest with you, because I don't think he should be wrestling in 1998. But that's just me. I don't remember Terry Taylor doing much wrestling in 1998, so I think it would be best for Terry to step away from the ring and do his thing elsewhere. Who else was managed by Jimmy Hart at this point? That's not good that the Cruiserweight Champion's considered unimportant. That's not good. It's also not good that Damien and Sequel Play are supposed to be a tag team and are. They're supposed to be a tag team, and one's a babyface and one's a heel. And I really, really hate that. I really find that freaking annoying. I really do find that freaking annoying. I wonder if he knows him in the Facebook group. I'm starting to think maybe I should bring in some people that are, lesser, like Terry Taylor, like on the back half of their career, and just, I mean, I know this match probably belongs more on Saturday night or main event, but they got to get some time on it. I mean, they got to get some time on this show. I'll even do an angle to set it up. Because I'm pretty sure he's managed by him. It makes it seem like he's stealing their stuff. Honestly, Kev, you do what you need. We're focused on doing our own thing, bro. Totally forgot that I could just click reset and then it goes back. Who do we want to feed to Goldberg tonight? That that tournament may have to be. I mean, it's gonna say that tournament may have to be a exclusively a B show thing because of the amount of unimportant talent that are in that tournament. You know what I mean? Like the amount of unimportant people in that tournament, or people that are looked at as unimportant that are in that tournament, is insane. The tag team tournament, to be exact. I'd find him eventually. Scotty Steiner. Robbed. Well, because the NWO has their own problems now, they don't have to worry about getting the titles robbed from them. I think that the Faces of Fear versus. And actually, hindsight being what it is, I think the Faces of Fear are actually. I think the Faces of Fear are actually managed by Jimmy Hart too. Yeah. At least somebody's managed by Jimmy Hart. I got a handle on this. Can't call him model for Rick Martel. And now we go to the match: Rick Martel versus Eddie Guerrero. There was actually no problem. There was actually no direct like idea that what's it called that I mean, not direct idea, definitive idea. There is actually no definitive idea that 100% definitively Buff Bagwell is going to win, but I'm also skeptical on the show because the show is not really been the best so far, in my opinion. I'm also branching over to. I'm also going to be branching over to 1987. I'm not sure if 1987 is going to be a stream or 1987 is just going to be videos, but 1987 is somewhere I'm going to go to as a way to try and get a handle on, as I try and get a handle on TEW 2020. Well, basically, Flair's saying that, how do you expect people to actually care that you're coming here if the Nature Boy is already here? So we got that tournament all set and ready to go. The Canadian Crippler, Chris Benoit. Savage seemingly sides with Kevin Nash. And Bischoff jumps in to defuse the situation. So Randy actually won't work with Hulk. That could be problematic. Can we do this? So the answer to that question is no. We can't do that because Hulk can't be involved in the angle, period. Whatsoever. Um, I would love I would love Randy to work with Louis Piccoli. So I'm gonna throw Randy a bone here and have him work with Louis. Louis um, distracted him, causing count out, which Louis seems extremely upset. This may be one that actually results in. This may actually be one that results in um, what's it called? This might actually be one that results in a feud getting stunted before the pay per view because I don't really like this feud. Uh, Lodi. That you should have joined when you had the chance. I need to know if I mean, I need to know if he's good, and I won't know that without actually working with him. But I don't want to put him in the main event of Nitro. I disagree that there should be a match based on eye candy. I really do disagree on that. And had I known that, I would have gotten rid of it before I started the show. But I am Eric Bischoff, So maybe we move this match to the pre-show. Maybe we move that match to the pre-show and then we work the women in, which I know I'm gonna have. I know there's gonna be an issue because they're unimportant and they're not gonna want to see matches between two jobbers. I understand that, but I gotta deal with it for now. This way I can turn it off later. I'm hoping that it does bypass some of it. I'm hoping that it does bypass some of it. Very distraught. Poor Louis Piccoli. Honestly, honestly, that match did better than I expected. Honestly, that match did better than I expected. Solid A plus opening. Solid A plus opening. I do think I may actually shift the focus of the announce position because I totally forgot that Bobby Heenan actually comes out halfway through Nitro to take over the announce position. But I do want to fix up the announce table on the other shows to make sure that it's the right way to go. Davey Boy advances. Davey Boy doesn't have drug issues, so that's good. Solid. Maybe that actually becomes a feud. Duggan and Hugh Morris. Yeah, that's yeah. Wait, Kurt Hennig and Rick Rude aren't in the NWA store? Same fucking. Yeah. Hey, the crowd's back. Maybe I shouldn't have Savage work with Louis. About right. I'm skeptical of what the show. I also think that maybe it's a possibility I didn't look to make sure that I was at the right position, percentage before the end of the show, which is a problem in itself. I mean, WWE didn't do much better. WWE didn't do much better, in my opinion. I mean, maybe I should have just did a show where, I mean, stream where I booked both WWE and WCW. The only problem with that logic is, do you realize how, do you realize how, um, what's the word? Do you realize how long that would take to get through? Because you're basically saying you're booking three from Raw, three from SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like you're booking Raw, ECW. I mean, Raw, Heat, and probably Shotgun Saturday Night. And then the four from WCW. Um, there we go. That's not. That's actually. And I think that the best way to do it would be maybe not releasing everyone, but releasing most of the women's division. Because there's just no real need for it in WCW. And in my opinion, from what I remember, based on what I know about WCW, that is that, to my knowledge, they didn't have a women's division back then. Their women's division went away a long time before this season started. Like their women's division is supposed to be gone by like 1997. If not 97, then definitely 96, because yes, it may have slowly but surely faded, but the fact of the matter is, it definitely was not in a position of prominence or being talked about in 1998. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, from what I remember, that's my knowledge of the situation that WCW did not have a women's division in that situation. Well, yeah, isn't Jarrett in WCW? I mean WWE. So wouldn't it be odd to have? Yeah, I mean you're basically working with the WWE, but the WWE, like you're basically working with the WWE, but at the same time you're not working with the WWE because the WWE wouldn't necessarily have access to the titles unless they're a part of the NWA. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like yes and no. I thought that said Rick Rude. I mean Rick Steiner. Honestly, I thought that said Rick Steiner. Honestly, Ric Flair should not be causing issues with Scott Steiner because technically they should not hate each other yet. Actually, no, they should. Actually, no, they should. You're right. Honestly, this should be more of a thing fixated around the NWO and not something fixated around WCW because the war should be taking a back seat to the fact that the NWO is fracturing. The war should be taking a back seat to the fact that the NWO is fracturing. And in actuality, it should be where, maybe Eric steps up and says, where Eric steps up and says, look, fact of the matter is, we're going to split it up. We're going to take over both Nitro and Thunder by having everyone in the NWO on separate shows. Having the NWO on separate shows. Because in my opinion, that would probably be the better way to go than, in my opinion, that would probably be the better way to go. I have more. I mean, the reality of the situation is I should just tape the one show separately. Thunder, I should tape separately and then have the other shows together, if that makes sense. Like, I should have the B shows together and the A shows separately, if that makes sense. This is Saturday night, isn't it? Yeah. This is a B show. Okay, let's because I I think I need people like Terry Taylor to come in and work because I don't know that I can book unimportant versus unimportant even on a B show because it'll probably kick back and tell me that that they don't want to watch people that are unimportant wrestle. The one thing I disagree with is I don't think Rick Martel should be considered unimportant. I think Rick Martel should be considered important, in my opinion. But that's just me. Goldberg thinks. Sorry. These two, I love Wrath and Mortis, and honestly I like the idea of Wrath and Mortis against Goldberg. It's just it's a lot to book, and I think to a degree, even if especially if Raw has its actual booking that it was until probably like '99, where it was all about where it was all about where it was all about being every other week. It would be taped every other week. That would maybe be a little bit easier. The NWO was fracturing. Like maybe I should have started with a company that ratings really didn't matter in. You know what I mean? To get a better handle on what was going on. You know what I mean? Like to get a better handle on what's going on because at least then I would not have I would have a better idea of how to book the bigger companies when I get to the point of booking the bigger companies because I would have a better understanding offhand of how to book them. based on booking the company that really, where it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? In which, booking the company in which it doesn't really matter in. I also wish that you could click in and see the guys, like see their skills to know. Oh, wait, you can. Randy's good at everything. He's better at charisma than he is at that, so let's rate him on charisma. We'll take 1998 to find his identity again. Well, we gotta figure it out somehow, right? We gotta figure it out somehow, so let's do it. Singles would be Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom against Public Enemy. At least it would be featured on the B show. At least it would be featured on the B show. I mean, actually, it might be easier to do like 1987 because more people would be in their prime. you know, more people would be in their prime in 1987. Was it? Who am I kidding? I don't want Syncope and Damien to win because they shouldn't be a tag team anymore. They just shouldn't be a tag team anymore. So that means that he should be camo appearance. See, the hardest part about booking a B show is figuring out how to fill in the B show. That's really the hardest part about booking the B show. But that's the issue, and it's sort of it's sort of making me lose a little bit of interest because of the fact that it's just so demanding to you know what I mean? It's just like so demanding to you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, you got to keep going with the angles that it's just like it's almost like you got to have 87 million things going on in your head to get the angles going, and it's just like it's so freaking much. It's almost like it's almost like overwhelming. You know what I mean? It's almost overwhelming to a point. So I do think I'm gonna scrap this and maybe we start over with one that's a little bit more manageable. I do think that maybe we start over with something that is a little bit more manageable because honestly, I was getting a bit overwhelmed. And the last thing you want to do, I think that's also the reason why I gave up on the game when I did, because I was getting a little bit overwhelmed instead of practically pushing the game the way I should. Like taking it easy early on, and instead of doing that, I was extremely overwhelmed, extremely overwhelmed, extremely overwhelmed, extremely overwhelmed. The one thing that I need to understand though is TEW can't take precedent over me doing other things because TEW usually was on my other computer, and I would keep it away from me, only playing it here and there. That just because I have the game now doesn't mean that the game is something that needs to be pushed to the forefront. You know what I mean? Like it can't take precedent over other things. I mean, and I know people can say, "Oh, well, it can't." No, it can't because I have more important things to do than play TEW all day. So let's because I honestly didn't even realize that there were so many freaking independent companies. Um, I mean, honestly, I've always been a fan of Bill Barron's, so Bill Barron's it is. And this should be a little bit easier now because we're playing a season that's not based off of angles and does not have over 100 people on the roster. We have a manageable amount of people on the roster, and we're also in the NWA. And we also get to start fresh. We also get to start brand spanking new. Where is his stamina? So Dutch is still capable of being something. Okay. My only question is what what do we need here? How do I? Oh, we don't need a minimum. Okay, we don't need a minimum number of active wrestlers. I totally missed that. I totally missed because every other one it was them giving me like a breakdown of the roster size. But I guess as a local company, you don't need a certain number of roster members. And this way, as people get knocked away and sent away, I could actually pick them up and bring them in. And I could even work with, I could even work with like OVW, and I could work with ECW, which is something I would not. I mean, ECW I could work with WWE, but it's not something I could do handily. But yeah, just poking around, seeing the roster. It's crazy how many people are actually signed to the WWE, and you know what I mean. It's like crazy how many people are signed to WWE and WCW. You know what I mean? It's like you have so many people that are signed to WWE and WCW that it's crazy that I kind of want to bring back Ron Wright, but maybe that's something down the road. Maybe that's something down the road. Um, Dirty Dutch is a heel. Where are the freaking baby faces? Trailer Park Trash. Billy Black. $150. $600. $50. And then we got the NWA 2, which is here. And we got nobody's the champion here either, which I actually should have known already. But yeah, let's try and book our first show before we wrap up stream, which I will be wrapping up stream momentarily because I have a Twitch stream to do tonight. Because I'm special. Yeah. And I'm happy I came when I did. They were just talking about how the cold weather has come in North Carolina, and I'm glad I came when I did because I miss the cold weather. But I know based on booking Heartland Wrestling for 10 years, doing this database for about 10, actually it was the 97 database right after the Montreal screw job. Booking that promotion for 10 years, I do know how to do it. It does get a little boring and you do want to take a little risks or you do want to take some risks here and there. Um, and it isn't exactly where I thought we were going to go, but I think this is the best place to go. I do know based off of playing this game that it takes a while to get some footing to get your footing. It takes a while to get your footing, but once you do get your footing, it's extremely rewarding. Because nothing beats when I was booking Georgia in the 1980 database, and I got the payoff between Tommy Rich and Jerry Lawler, and it actually worked. I did a year-long storyline, which now I would have booked better. Now I would have booked better because I would have had a better way to book it and more. It would have been more contrived. It would have been more together. It would have been better. It just would have been better altogether. But there was nothing more rewarding than seeing the start of the storyline the way it started, and then the end of the storyline the way it went. And the reality of that situation is that's when I would play this game for 8 hours a day, every day, with 6 different seasons, keeping track of each season. And why do you think some storylines were so contrived and repetitive? It's because I was playing this game way more often than I should be. That's all I gotta say. Unfortunately, I do know that this could be eating away at maybe I should have done this second and tiered Twitch first, but I really didn't know what to play on Twitch. So, and I'm not going to play this game. Yeah, you know, I didn't really know what to play on Twitch, and I wasn't going to play this. So, you know, it's just the fact of the matter is, I went the route of doing what I wanted to do. I still say I remember this, I remember this game being full screen, and one of the reasons that this game was different was because it was full screen, unlike the other games where it was partial screen, which is how it is, but I guess maybe they updated it because people didn't like it being full screen. But yes, instead of spending $60 on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I spent $25 on this game, and now I gotta make use. Now I gotta make use. I'm definitely getting a glimpse of everybody that is in this game. Some names I've never heard of, so it just shows how well made this, well made this database is. I also don't know why there's such a delay, but that's just me. I would love to be able to book at least one show before I wrap up because I am running low on time. Maybe I should have done this, but I spent a shit ton of time in WCW and fixating on WCW. But at least now it's giving me the opportunity to maybe plan better with YouTube and not just spontaneously start doing a YouTube stream when I'm in the time zone of when I usually do Twitch streams. Because now I'm going to be jumping from YouTube. Now I'm going to be jumping from YouTube to Twitch, and it's just, Hmm. Hmm. But like nothing beats the excitement of playing a game like this in a season like this, where if I was WCW, I would have switched the title off of Ultimo Dragon, put it with Rey Mysterio. But it's just like I said, I can't sit there and dichotomize what's going to happen on the B shows and put together show angle after angle after angle and fill up the B shows with angles because I'm not thinking about what goes on the B shows because who cares? The limitations that it places on you by having to force you to put in a certain number, a certain number of this or a certain number of that, and that you have to go that route. You have to do this. You have to do that. It's like eh, you can't do anything. Like you're limited what you can do. What is it, Giant Warrior? Yeah, it was title was vacated, same as WCW. Where is he working? Japan, I think, because I think that's where he usually is. Interesting tag team, Brady Boone and Fred Ottman. Interesting tag team. Um, I do hope one of the members of the women's division. I don't know what to say to that. I really, really don't know what to say to that. But as far as helping the NWA crown some champions, we need to crown our own champions first. We need to crown our own champions first. And that starts with booking our first show. Because our first show is going to be ran here tonight. And I think the easiest way to go. Gosh darn it. Sam's doing a lot of Fire Pro Wrestling. Um, the easiest way to go about it is holding off in the tag team division for right now and going with the world title and the junior heavyweight title. But the easiest way to go about booking a storyline is not doing a tournament. It's not doing a tournament. The easiest way to book a storyline is um Jamie Dundee has a very short leash though, by the way. The easiest way to book the story is you have the heel cheat to win and the babyface go on the chase. right now, by the look of it, right now, by the look of it, the only person. I mean, Rex King can, but Rex King is a Colorado kid can. I don't really want to work with Billy Black though, because Billy Black's a scumbag. You know, Billy Black's a scumbag, so I don't really want to work with him. Tainted. Of course, we don't have a freaking referee. We don't employ a referee, really. Please tell me there's a referee on free agency, or that I can hire for the night. That's not how you do it. This is how you do it. Mike Posey. Dutch Hill versus the Colorado Kid. Um, I like Flash, so Flash will join the story too. We don't need broadcast journalists. I mean, we don't need broadcasters because Dutch can't. Dutch can't do it himself. Dutch can't. Dutch can't. Colorado Kid for the Georgia title. I guess Dutch actually can agent himself. Okay. I might be younger than him, but the fact is, Dutch, your time is coming up. But yeah, I chose a wrestling game instead of Call of Duty. Not that I'm not going to play the rest. Not that I'm not going to get Call of Duty. It's just that I chose to get this first. Actually, I may have to scrap that because Jason Lee is. Well, actually, I don't have a heel and a babyface capable of competing in that match. So yeah. So much easier just doing this. Yeah, screw it. We'll do a freestyle angle. Add insult to injury. Dutch is joined by Dutch and Flash Flanagan. Beat down kid after the match, bloodying him. Oh, I mean, of course that's a problem. Of course that's a problem. We haven't filled up the main show's time, so of course that's a problem. So much better. This match started as an 18. The show started with an 18, and I didn't lose a damn thing. Wolfie D and Jamie are just gonna put over people. Like maybe I should start. Maybe I should gain some more baby faces or bring some other people in to allow Wolfie and Jamie to put people over because I don't really like them. Nothing against them, but they've just never been my favorite people. Like favorite. It's frustrating. It is really frustrating. But Dutch did really well. Flash did good. And actually, Billy Black and Rex King did really well. Honestly, like Flash didn't drag down the segment that much. But I'm gonna be wrapping up momentarily, as it is time to wrap up. And I think I am actually going to try and sign someone. I mean, I know earlier I was looking at Ricky Morton, but I gotta go smaller. Uh, Specifically here. And active to higher. Shrunk the roster a little bit, or shrunk the expectations a little bit. But also between now and the other show, I probably should sign a referee and maybe an announcer. I mean, maybe a road agent, so it's not just my buddy. If Bruiser wasn't a if Bruiser wasn't a heel, I'm a huge Bruiser Bedlam fan. Huge Bruiser Bedlam fan. Because I also may have to scrap. I also may have to scrap the Colorado Kid angle. Derek Domino, Donnie Allen, Don Callis. I feel like Eric Watts should have more popularity, but he doesn't. If I could trust him a little more, I would jump at the opportunity. But it's Jake in the late '90s. You can't exactly trust him. It's Jake in the late '90s. You can't exactly trust him. Just incredible. So much better as a heel. Um, it's a good question. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? It's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. I really am not sure. But I do think that going the route of that going certain routes might be unwarranted. Would you take 475? Let's just see how we're at or where we're at after. But fact of the matter is, we're wrapping up here. I will see you guys again soon. I hope you enjoyed this test run, this whatever you want to call it. Um, and I will see you guys again soon. I'm gonna go stream on Twitch, and I will be seeing you guys around. So yeah, peace for now, and I will see you guys again soon. I know it's an odd way to end it, but it's the best way to do it because I'm thinking, and that's the best way to go. Because I don't want to push too hard too fast